In Dragon Ball Super, we were introduced to a new character called Kale, and we see that Kale mimics, if it isn't a carbon copy already, the behavior, the mannerisms, and the actual aesthetic of Broly. Yes, Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan of the non-canonic universe, 7 Saiyans. Let's talk about today who wins, Kale versus Broly. Now this battle is going to take place in two fronts. The first front is of course going to be from a power perspective, but the second front, which is more important to me, is who makes a better Broly or Kale? It's a weird question, but we're going to delve into it and hopefully discuss it with you lot. If you have any ideas, if you have any comments, please feel free to comment down below. Comment right now, do you think Kale is a better Broly than Broly? And then comment again after I give my reasons. Let's just get the whole power front out of the way. Broly went toe-to-toe with the Super Saiyans during the Dragon Ball Z era, but from what we see in Dragon Ball Super, we know that the Super Saiyan or the Super Saiyan 2 of Goku is far and above what he used to be in the Dragon Ball Z era. Now we saw Kale going into her Berserk form is able to not only demolish, mollywop, smash Super Saiyan 2 Goku, but she also tanks the Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha. Now, although a lot of them were just callbacks and Easter eggs from movie 8 regarding Broly and his feats, him tanking the Kamehameha, the fact that Kale was able to do it with a Goku who is far and above what he used to be, as well as in his Super Saiyan Blue form, is out of the question. Super Saiyan Berserk Kale is far stronger than the legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Now, let's talk about who's a better Broly. In terms of motivation, Broly hated Goku because of the fact that when they were babies, Kakarot used to just cry, and he was absolutely, he was incensed with just how annoying Goku was, and he's always kept that inside of him until, look at it, he met Goku and then it all erupted. So it was a culmination of at least a good 20-30 odd years of pure hatred and anger. But the thing is, it's very, very petty. Let's look at Kale here. Kale is just met Goku. I think that it's only been around, around 7 minutes. Just assume, let's say 10 minutes. She's known him for around 10 minutes, and the fact that she believes that Goku took away Kefla from her, she hates him. Let's get a bit more detailed here. The thing with Kale is the fact that she feels very neglected. She feels that she's never good enough. She's so timid, she's so shy, and it takes a lot for her to do things. She lacks severely in confidence. Now, when Goku and Kefla were fighting in the Super Saiyan 2 forms and Kale was trying to bring support, Goku said, "Can you stop disturbing us?" Very condescending, but it was very funny. And Kale was like, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry to be a bother. Am I a bother, sis?" And she calls sis in an affectionate way to Kefla, who is also her mentor. And then Kefla once again gives a dismissing look, and that look really did push her over the edge. She felt like, okay, what the hell? Why is she leaving me? Why is she dismissing me for this old man, for Goku? What the hell? That's not right. And thus she becomes Super Saiyan Berserk, and all of her anger is pinpointed onto Goku. Son Goku, die. I think it's Shine, I don't know. The point being, she pinpointed her anger towards Goku from a very petty reason, but it's not as petty as one may think. In terms of what's the better reason, Broly has the culmination of a few decades to hone his anger. However, you think to yourself, look, he's a baby. How are you remembering this from a baby? But then you could think to yourself, maybe he's traumatized. There are instances of people who remember every little thing, even from the early toddler years, due to trauma. So it could easily just be a traumatic moment, and also it fits the narrative of that other movie very, very well. So there is that. I'm going to lean to the side of Kale, as her justification for going Berserk was alluded to us a couple of episodes earlier when she went a bit mental and pinpointed all of her anger to Kabe, and that was a really good justification. She went angry. She feels like she's inadvertently protecting and paying back and showing gratitude to Kefla, who she kind of regards as a savior. I think that Kale is a very, very lonely person, and it has a lot of deep psychological implications in her character. Compared to Broly, who was, as many people regard as quite bland, well, he can be bland and he can't be bland. It depends on the way you look at it, and depends especially what movie you're taking to analyze. Because movie 1 of Broly was movie 2 was just bad, and movie 3 was just horrible as well. But movie 2 was the worst, where he was far more boring. In terms of Kale, she has, as I said, underlying psychological issues. She has a deep insecurity with herself. She has a severe lack of confidence, and this was all alluded to us before. Even before she transformed in this Tournament of Power, you saw her getting, it was really hard to watch her getting battered by Nappa Papa and some other fella. She was getting just, I feel like she is used to being humiliated, or feels that she always gets the short end of the stick all the time, and that is also a justification for her having a large reservoir of pent-up anger and frustration. She feels that she's not good enough. She feels like she always lets people down, and she feels that she can never do anything right. Whereas Broly feels like he just has the anger, and the justification for the anger is just pure frustration from a traumatic moment. Whereas Kale probably has had multiple traumatic moments from different situations, which all pent up with frustration, anger, lack of worth, depression. Kale is depressed, and we need to understand that there is a darkness, there is a dark, deep well of anger that actually comes with someone who's severely depressed, someone who is severely anxious, someone who truly does lack self-worth. And she always tries to gain that self-worth, but once again falls down. What she regards Kefla as a big sis, as a mentor. Remember, she is, as Kefla calls her, a protege. So therefore, she's also trying to show gratitude. So imagine this: she's probably angry, and she's thinking, okay, look, this girl, I don't know why she's talking to me. I don't know why she's took me under her wing. She's very grateful because she doesn't even understand herself why Kefla took her under her wing. Therefore, you can see all those different avenues which justify her anger, which then justifies why she is an absolute monster when she does transform. Now, I'm not going to talk about the whole Kale vs Goku fight. No, there's no point. What I am going to talk about is the whole comparison between Broly and Kale. In terms of power, Kale wins. In terms of justification for anger, this is purely someone's opinion. This is purely your opinion. Who do you think is a better Broly? I am leaning, and you know what? I'm not leaning. I truly do believe that Kale is a better Broly in every possible way. However, keep in mind the fact that this is a series, so they've had a lot of time to actually pad things out, and they've had the resources and the character interactions to justify Kale's anger. If they were to do that with Broly, would it be the same? I don't know. If the whole underlying story point of Broly is angry at Goku because he cried in whatever, I don't think they can pull it off as well as they did with Kale. So Goku, is he the ideal enemy for Kale? No. We need to understand that for this Tournament of Power, Kale pinpointed her anger at Goku because it was just convenient at the time. Due to Kefla was sparring and fighting with Goku. It's very similar when Kefla was being taught how to become a Super Saiyan by Kaba, and it's always who is there at that moment with Kefla, who is there that is taking Kefla away from her, who is there taking the attention and the love and as I said, the attention away from Kale, from Kefla. She will never go angry and berserk at Kefla. Her subconscious likes her too much. She's too grateful to Kefla. But at the end of the day, the truth is, Kale becomes the legendary Super Saiyan not because of Goku, not because of Kaba. It's actually because of Kefla, but she will never ever do anything to Kefla because she doesn't ever wish to hurt Kefla. She's always wishing to make Kefla happy. So who's a better Broly? I'm going to go with Kale. I think Kale is a better Broly in terms of power, in terms of reasoning, and so far her character can only flourish, as we know that Broly is a character which is not canon, and I don't think we're going to ever see him again, even in the movie standard. We might see him in iterations of the game, but what more can you do to further his story, his character, his just intentions, if he's not going to be in the anime itself? So with that, there's a lot of promise for Kale. Anyway, with that being said, please make sure to like, share, comment and subscribe with your scouter. You may now exit Dimsy's domain. Thank you, goodbye, and don't die, like they say, die.